Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Jujutsu Kaisen. Last time around we had Hidden Inventory Part 2, where basically the boys met with Riko Amanai and basically were told, hey, let her indulge herself for these 2 days, let her see her friends and everything. And it didn't last. A lot of other Jutsu sorcerers showed up to attack them. Geto dealt with a dude who also had Shikigami, and Gojo dealt with a guy that could clone himself. We had a really long explanation of Gojo's powers. Again, Fushiguro did nothing. He was kind of like, I'm not going to do anything. It's like, okay, you could do something, though. I don't know. You're kind of building up that, once he does something, he's going to be really great, but it's like, even he kind of admits, they kind of admit that he's not going to be able to beat Gojo, but I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so where did we leave off? Riko's maid was captured somehow, even though when we last left her, she was with Geto, so I don't know how that happened. But anyway, that's pretty much where we left off. Like always, the reaction is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. So let's go ahead and jump right into this episode of Jujutsu Kaisen. Here we go. The good news is Gojo is not dead. That's it. Wow, all it took was 3 episodes. No, not even 3. 2 episodes to completely endear me to this girl. I'm assuming the rest of this arc is how we're going to lose Geto. I still am unsure how we're going to get to the point where he thinks, only the strong should survive and there shouldn't be any monkeys. I don't fully see how we're going to get there. I do see how he's going to turn away from Jutsu High. To be fair, if he had just had Riko go, Tengen would have protected her, and that would have been that. But Geto is a good guy. Geto and Gojo are good guys. So they wanted to give Riko a choice. And it killed her. So, a while back, I'm going to say about a year ago, on Twitter, which is always an amazing start to a story, on Twitter, I saw this anime Twitter account, basically, with a picture of Riko. From this episode, it was her, on the beach in Okinawa. And simply with the caption... Well, no, I guess that one was a different one. But this one, it was that image. It was that image of, her having fun on the beach. And the caption was something like, oh, isn't she beautiful? Or some shit like that. I don't know. Or it just, isn't she great? Or something like that. And I saw that tweet. And this was all before I watched Jujutsu Kaisen. I want that to be clear. And this was a year ago. I was still, probably just starting part 6 of JoJo at the time. Maybe I was even still in part 5. I don't know. But yeah, so I saw that. And I saw the replies. And while none of the replies straight up spoiled what happened, they weren't good. And I left a reply. And you can probably still find this on my Twitter account. But I replied, and I said, she seems cute. She seems like a nice, happy girl. But I have not seen Jujutsu Kaisen, but the replies do not bode well for her. And there were a couple people that were like, yeah. So, the one and only thing I knew about Jujutsu Kaisen going into it was the fact that this girl fucking dies. That's it. Now, even if I didn't know that, in the moment, I would have been, shitting bricks, because I know Gojo survives. I know Geto survives. I would not have known that Rico survives. In kind of the same way of, like, hang on. I was sneezing so much. In the same way as watching the movie, where I know that Maki, Toge, and Panda, and Gojo are all going to be okay. I didn't know if Yuta would survive. Thankfully, he did. Thankfully, Yuta survived, but I did not know. I mean, it's like watching the Clone Wars and thinking, well, alright, all of the stakes come from Ahsoka, because we don't know what happens to Ahsoka, you know? I mean, when Clone Wars came out, you know? Like, before Rebels, basically, you know? So, she's just dead. You know? And okay, I will at least grant that Fushiguro had a good fight in this episode. I want to give him that credit. But it's amazing that, throughout all of Season 1, I complained about the smug villains, which was mostly Geto. There was a lot of Mahito doing that, but mainly Geto. And now that we're in Season 2, and we're going back in time and seeing, we're seeing Geto before he was smug. And, but we still have the smug villain, because now we have Fushiguro. And I still hate it. It's so annoying. Just the whole thing, I'm like, oh, how did you get here? And he's just like, what? Why would you think? Oh, I know what you mean. I killed Gojo, with his whiny-ass voice and his dumbass sweatpants. I bet you the scar that he has on his lip, I bet that scar came from, like, slipping in the bathroom or something, I bet that. Because this dude's fucking lame. And that is such a problem that Jujutsu Kaisen has, is that other than Sukuna, who is a villain, but he's not really, like, a main... Like, he's not actively doing things. Like, aside from Sukuna, all of the villains are so lame. And it sucks, honestly, because, like, after these 3 episodes, like, I am almost in disbelief that Geto will be as lame as he is in the future, Like, how did this guy become so lame, That's really it. I've been looking for the word for so long. The villains in this show, again, aside from Sukuna, they are lame. They are so lame. And after this, I have no idea how Geto gets to that point. Because nothing in these 3 episodes... I can see how he can be a villain, but nothing explains the characterization he had both in the movie and in Season 1. I don't see how we're going to get to that, and I assume we are. I assume we are going to get to that in the next few episodes. So what happens now? Because, Star Plasma Vessel is dead. The Star Plasma Vessel is dead. Tengen still exists in Season 1. I guess it's only a couple years later, but maybe that's how Mahito was able to get through, because Geto knew that Tengen was weaker. Because if it's because he knew that Tengen didn't assimilate Rico, that's how Mahito was able to destroy... Because didn't he destroy Tengen? I don't know. I will... Again, I at least want to give the credit to Fushiguro that as lame as he is, and he is pretty lame, I will say the fight was alright, The fact that it's like, he does seem to be like Maki's ultimate form, where it's like, he has no cursed energy. He just has his physique, his, like, All Might-like physique, and so he can just bounce around like crazy. because he's just that built, you know? And he uses these cursed tools. He did still, I mean, at least he had a cursed spirit with him, but, like, he had cursed spirits with him, but like, he has no cursed energy. And so that at least was an interesting fight. It was interesting to see Gojo on the back burner, you know, like being sort of off balance and not being able to just completely whoop some guy. So I like that at least, you know. But Fushiguro is not Maki. He's also not Fushiguro. He's not Megumi. Megumi is cool. He's not lame. Maki is certainly not lame, you know. I did like that we had a beach episode. I will say, for how much they focused on, like, oh, we gotta go get Kuroi, and, you know, the whole big moment of, like, I mean, I guess it's almost kind of realistic that it's like, oh, we have this big moment, and, you know, Rico's gonna have to stay strong and be a part of this, and then they just go, and it was really easy to get in and save her, and it's like, oh. It's like, yeah, I guess that's kind of realistic. It's just kind of weird. It's like we focus so much time on, like, the drama of, you know, we gotta go get Kuroi, and then they literally just did that off screen, you know? They did that off screen. Next thing we know, we're just on a beach in Okinawa. I don't know. Was that just to get all of them in swimsuits? To get this teenage girl into a swimsuit? And then get her wet? Yeah. You know, I said to myself I wouldn't rant. Before this episode, I said to myself, I'm not going to rant about this episode. And I guess, I mean, it's not as big a rant as normal. I mean, it's fine, but it's just like, it's the problem with Jujutsu Kaisen. The villains are lame. But overall, it's good. I don't know what's going to happen now. I assume that the loss of Rico is going to push Geto into becoming the villain we see, but I still don't see how he's going to become the villain we see, you know? I don't get how he's going to become the villain we saw in the movie and in season 1, so I don't know how that's going to work, but we got, like, 3 more episodes of this arc to figure it out, so I don't know, something like that, just based on the titles. I don't know. I guess, rip Rico. We hardly knew ye. And with all of that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Jujutsu Kaisen reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.